Well, it's time to switch gears and track some key political developments in the country. The Kano State Governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, has inaugurated 2 judicial commissions of inquiry on cases of misappropriation of public property, political violence and missing persons in the state between 2015 to 2023, a space of 8 years, covering the 2 terms in office of his predecessor, Abdullahi Ganduje. Inaugurating members of the Judicial Commission last Thursday, Governor Yusuf vowed to bring anyone found wanting to book, adding that it was part of his inaugural pledge to unravel and prosecute those behind cases of political violence recorded in the state before and during the 2015, 2019, and 2023 general elections. Opponents of this move say it's a political witch hunt. We're now being joined to have a quick chat on this with Terrace Kuanum, a Global Amnesty Watch researcher. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we'd like for you to dissect this whole incident in Kano State at this time unraveling. As you heard in my introduction, opponents of this whole move are saying that it's a political witch hunt from the Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf, and he's also said that it is not a political witch hunt, that he wants to make sure that, there's accountability in Kano State. But only yesterday, I believe that he's also asked the EFCC to probe the bribery incident of Abdullahi Ganduje. I'm not sure you can hear me. Can you hear me, sir?
It's actually strange to most of us why a judicial panel will be set up 1 year after the governor has been sworn in, because the governor has taken very severe decisions in Kano. We don't know if there were demolitions in Kano when he took over on the issues of government properties. This thing has destabilized a lot of people in Kano. We even learned that so many people out of that shock lost their lives. And so it's quite strange to us that after taking those decisions, there's a judicial panel also going on, being inaugurated in Kano almost a year into the program. And the issues of finances.
Unfortunately, we have lost our guest there, Steve Adesua. I believe that our guest was saying that it is a strange situation occurring at this moment and that he doesn't feel like it is right for the probe to occur. I don't know what your thoughts are on this matter. I guess I'll start with you, Steve.
Well, I mean, our guest was just beginning to, put his thoughts together, given the fact that it's almost 1 year into Abba Yusuf's, tenure. But I think that it's to be expected, really, given that it's a different political party. Abba Yusuf is an NMPP, while, of course, Ganduje was governor under APC. He's now the chairman, national chairman of APC. You could almost argue that it's a proxy war, between Abba Yusuf's boss or principal, Rabiu Kwankwaso, who was the governor when Dr. Ganduje was the deputy. And of course, there's no love lost, apparently, between the two of them. So I think that when people allege a bit of witch hunt or a bit of proxy war, they won't be totally wrong. But then how far it can go would be another thing. Ganduje has said that it is only the federal government that can try him. That this is if it's an offense at all, it's a federal offense. Nobody knows what that means in law. But the criminal charges that the Kano State government is trying to institute, I think that they will go ahead with it. Just like our guest was saying, the case is already, some part of the case is already with the ICPC. Let's see how that pans out.
I don't agree that it is strange, as Mr. Kuanum had said, because I think what would have been more strange following the video we saw of the former governor Ganduje, which some people have alleged is doctored, or some people have alleged is not accurate. A video which is purportedly the former governor stuffing wads of dollars into his clothes, into pockets of his agbada. It would be strange then for the person who comes into office after him to not even at least inquire into the activities of his government following such a case. Like, you know, the governor of Kano, Yusuf, has come and said that EFCC should release their own probe on the former governor. You know, there have been allegations of diversion of public funds. There have been allegations of sale of government properties. Even prior to this current governor winning his elections, Ganduje and his son did face these allegations. So I think it's actually what would be more strange in our climate to not even investigate.
Yes.
I think
they were specific about the figures that we're talking about.
Yes.
$413,000 on the one hand, and then 1.38 billion naira on the other.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean, this
it's a lot of, you know. So I think at the very least we would expect, you know,
some level of transparency.
Yes.
It is very important.
And accountability.
Transparency and accountability. I believe that we have our guests back, Terence Kuanum. Hello, sir. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Fantastic.
Thank you. I was able to hear your question. I was able to hear your question, and I was telling you that it was quite strange to us that a judicial panel will be set into a government 1 year into it, because if you can recall, in the inaugural stages of this government, a lot of demolition were made, that government properties were encroached or were developed by the immediate past government. And we know the kind of trauma that people went through because of those decisions. Some even lost their lives, and some even lost their means of livelihood. And so it is quite strange that after taking all those decisions, there's a judicial panel that has just been inaugurated. It is also quite strange that issues that were raised in Kano that were before the EFCC and ICPC is not enough for the government to go and also set up a judicial panel of inquiry. And then when you begin to look at the antecedents of this government, where during the tribunal, the government openly expressed their distrust with the judiciary of this country, it now begins to look like the processes that are within our courts that has to do with Kano, the government is still not believing that they can be able to get justice from those courts. So is that why a judicial panel will be set 1 year into office after so many decisions have been taken, so much destruction have taken place in Kano? And so it is quite strange to us as a people that these things are happening. When 1 year into government, we expect that governance should be at its peak so that we should be able to see practically what this government is putting in place in terms of governance for the people of Kano State. And so it is actually looking like truly a political vendetta that is taking place in Kano because there are so many political dimensions to this issue. Some people are already saying that because the governor of Kano and his godfather, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, wants to come back to APC, they don't actually want the immediate past governor of Kano, Ganduje, to be the national chairman of APC, and that is why they are trying to develop some reports to indict him so that people can be able to follow through them in the judicial process to call for his resignation and XYZ. So it's actually looking like a political vendetta from all the angles that we are seeing to these issues.
All right, Mr. Kuanum, you have a point about political vendetta and what other people have called proxy war. But at the heart of these inquiries and probe and the threat of taking the former governor, who is now the national chairman of APC, to court, is the fact that the funds, the money of taxpayers of Kano State are involved. And some of the amounts that the Kano State government is talking about, as we mentioned earlier, there's a $413,000 and a 1.8 billion naira, respectively. Are you saying that is phantom amount that the Kano State government should just move on and not worry about the fact that maybe indeed there might have been some misappropriation or even embezzlement?
Thank you very much for that question. Like I said earlier, these issues are before ICPC and the EFCC. And so it is strange that cases that are before institutions of government in this country that are saddled with the responsibility of investigating embezzlement and stolen funds in public offices is not satisfactorily enough for the government of Kano to go back and be setting up a judicial panel. Why the haste when these issues are before these institutions that have been saddled with the responsibility to investigate them? And that is where people are seeing it as political vendetta, or because this same government has already expressed their displeasure over the judiciary of this country, and they don't believe that they are going to get justice within the courts of this country, again, that they have expressed during the tribunal. That's are the questions that are being asked. No one is saying that public funds should not be investigated, but they are already being investigated by institutions that have the responsibility to do so. So why the Judicial Commission of Inquiry?
So would you agree that it's possible that the government of Kano State also have a responsibility to investigate their finances and administration of the funds of Kano State, even if it's 1 year into a government? Do you believe that 1 year is too short a period of time to know whether or not the finances of the state were previously mismanaged, or if there was some bribery or misallocation of government properties being appropriated into private property? Do you think 1 year is too short a period of time to notice these discrepancies in the balance sheet or in the land allocation in Kano State?
Well, thank you so much for that question. You see, a government that truly wants accountability for its people, we expect that whatever that is involved that is not yet before the EFCC and the IACPC should have been packaged by the government of Kano State and aided these agencies with those information so that they can be able to fast-track their investigations and be able to bring justice for the people of Kano, instead of going back to Kano to waste taxpayers' money to set up a judicial panel of inquiry, a report that might end up also going back to EFCC or the ICPC to be able to prosecute the former governor. So we see this one as political vendetta. We see this also as a waste of public funds for the people of Kano that would have been channeled towards development instead of putting up these inquiries. If they have any information that is not already with the EFCC and the ICPC, we expect them to have made the information available quickly to these agencies to fast-track those investigations.
Well, all right. On that note, would like to thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the morning show.